You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper than again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of What If Naruto Meets Max Steel. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of pyrohelixdrago on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Sea in the mist. You had to invite them, didn't you? Yamato said to Naruto creepily. They were heading in this direction anyway, Naruto said as he was with three familiar cloud ninja Samui, Karui, and Omoi and Shizuka as this was her way back. Apologize, Samui said to Karui as her teammate abused and beat Naruto to a bloody pulp. She had low G-cup melons, curvy and slightly athletic body, and a bubbly peach. Still can't believe this guy saved his village, Karui said as she beat him to a bloody pulp. Believe it, he beat me in less than a minute, Shizuka said to Karui. She had E-cup melons, athletic body, and round firm peach. He just got cooler, Samui said as she was impressed as she did a little research on him during her stay and did a little checking on some facts and learned he was very accomplished as a shinobi. Ship, Guy said as another ship was passing by. Oh no, Karui, behave, Samui said as she recognized the person on the other ship. Naruto, behave, that's the Mizukage, Yamato said to him. Naruto looked at the Mizukage and was really attracted to her spiky auburn hair. The woman had large E-cup melons, curvy body, and large bubbly peach. Hello, Mei said as she looked at the men on board and was not impressed as one had creepy eyes, one was timid, and one had very large eyebrows which she almost mistook for caterpillars, and then her eyes landed on a blonde with spiky blonde hair. Well, hello handsome, she said with a smile looking at Naruto. Sup, gorgeous, Naruto said to her, knowing her game as he knew way too many flirty women in the leaf, one who drank his BLD coming to mind. Oh brother, Yamato said shaking his head. Well, aren't you just charming, Mei said as she approached him liking what she was seeing. Well, it's definitely a pleasure to welcome you aboard our vessel, Naruto said as he bowed. And what is your name? Mei asked, very interested. Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said politely as he kissed her hand. Ooh, I like this one, Mei said with a giggle as she liked polite men. Shizuka gave her a glare as she secretly wanted him, and Samui unconsciously let one out. When the heck did you get so smooth? Yamato asked. I don't travel with the two biggest perverts without picking up some tricks, and knowing Granny Tsunade kinda makes one see a woman's appeal and how to show proper respect, Naruto said to him. Mind giving me pointers? Yamato asked him, actually wanting some advice. With that creepy face of yours, nothing can help you, my would-user friend, Naruto said as he got another creepy glare. I don't like that weather, Guy said looking at the stormy sky. It's as creepy as your caterpillar eyebrows, Shizuka said, getting some laughs from the others. 1 hour later. This is ridiculous. Naruto said as the storm was crazy. You're telling me? Shizuka said as the wind was loud. Samui was trying to hoist the sails, but even with her chakra attaching her to the ship she was blown over the deck into the water. I got her, Naruto said, jumping after her. Naruto, Shizuka said as she jumped after him. We can't lose the Jinchuriki, Mei thought, following after wanting to make sure Naruto made it back. I got you, Naruto said as he grabbed Samui and saw Mei and Shizuka followed behind. What the hell is this? He asked as a blue whirlwind swirled around them. It looks like chakra, Mei said as it was too bright to be anything else. This'll be a problem, Hagoromo said as he looked at Naruto and the three women. I'll need to replace them with perfect and exact copies, he said as he made perfect doubles appear and sent them back in place of the originals. They may be able to handle what's happening where they're going, he thought as he made 4 sphere-like devices appear. The first went to Naruto and opened up and a small drone-like bot shaped like AX came out looks like Mbero X Steel X376 and the drone bound to his chest and the hexagon pieces wrapped around Naruto making an armor of black and orange and the chest piece glowed gold. The second went to Shizuka and another small drone appeared looks like Chomp Link and bonded to Shizuka's chest and the hexagon pieces wrapped around her making her suit violet and black and the chest piece was bright purple. The third went to Samui and the drone Blast Link went to her chest and bonded to her the hexagon pieces wrapping around her the armor was icy blue, sliver, and her chest piece was white. The fourth went to Mei and the drone Prism Link went to her chest and bonded to her the hexagon pieces wrapping around her the armor being navy blue, auburn, and the chest piece was BLD red. Be safe my son, Hagoromo thought as he let them go to their destination but chose the location and gave them some necessities they'd need. Few hours later. What the hell are we wearing? Naruto asked as he looked at what they were all wearing as they all sat in a large apartment, and why are you so young? He looking at Mei as he, Shizuka, and Samui were the same age and looked the same but Mei was younger. No idea but I am not complaining also there is a letter for you, Mei said as she saw one on the counter. Dear Naruto and company you are in a different world I apologize in advance as this was a random occurrence as the universes experience moments where a bridge opens between them like a black hole and unlucky for you all you were there and there is no way back and if it'll make you feel better I left exact replicants in your place, Naruto said reading off the letter. P.S. I have given you all documents to be able to survive in this world and things you need to know and also given you all knowledge to this universe's language sign Hagoromo Otsutsuki. The sage of the six paths, he said surprising them all. Few days later. After a brief PRD of anger and sadness of not being able to go home and getting to know their new world and got to know their bodies as the suits they had were incredible and they felt a rush of energy similar to chakra somehow able to generate more on their own but quickly learned to control it as it was unmistakably exactly like chakra. They all settled making their lives and deciding to go to school to learn. Naruto was wearing black pants, a gold shirt with his chest piece symbol, and an leather jacket modeled after his sage coat but the red was orange. Shizuka wore a black shirt with a purple overshirt with a small symbol for near her neck, a violet skirt, and black leggings. Samui wore a tight white tank top, small icy blue hoodie, and silver ripped-up jeans. Mei was wearing a small leather jacket similar to Naruto's but hers said, 5th Mizukage, and was navy blue, an auburn CRP top, BLD red skirt and fishnet stockings. They had managed to get the same classes together and easily got work done when they worked together but the most exciting things were their after-school activities as they became heroes fighting crime as they wanted to do good with their powers. Naruto took the name Maelstrom X, Mei took Volcano Mei, Samui Blizzard, and Shizuka took Shizuka Storm. I swear how can people not know it's us, Mei said. As no one made the connection to them. No idea you guys get followed again, Naruto asked them as they had all been followed by black and red robots, men in white and green, and even a robot that was white and green. Yeah we need to interrogate someone soon, Samui said as they let it go the first few times but now it was getting annoying. I still can't believe what we can all do, Shizuka said as they all had powers relating to their elements. I think we do great work, Naruto said as he saw a newspaper about them as Copper Canyon's protectors. Mr. Jason Knott, explain to me how we can have 4 turbo energy signatures and 4 ultralink signatures and yet cannot trace them whatsoever, a scrawny old man said as he coughed looking at a well-dressed man. I don't know sir, I can't find a way to trace these so-called heroes, I've tried all I can, Knott said. Well find out, Miles Dread must have turbo energy. Dread said before the signal cut off as Jason gulped in fear. How is this possible, how'd we miss 4 ultralinks and 4 Taconians? Ferris said to them. No idea sir I don't even know how this is possible I mean Jim was the last of his people right? Jefferson said to him. Yeah, Ferris said as he didn't mention Max as the teen hadn't shown signs of turbo energy and the people that they were searching for their energies didn't match Jim's and theirs were different colors from the blue Jim had. What I'd like to know is how it is that they have different colors. I mean turbo energy has only ever shown as blue but they have purple, icy blue, BLD red and gold and their energies are somewhat higher than Jim's at least a little bit, Berto said as he was interested in that. Until we find them all we have is unanswered questions. Let's try and find them before something bad happens, Ferris said as they were cautious concerning the Ultralinks due to field experience and their constant battle with them. Next day with Naruto. Hi Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said as he introduced himself to the new kid. Max McGrath, Max said to Naruto as they shook hands. Whoa, they thought as they felt a jolt. Static shock to its finest, right? Naruto said trying to hide the energy surge, that guys like us but he's no ninja, he thought as the way Max carried himself was not the way a ninja carried themselves, what is he thought to himself keeping a closer eye on Max. Do all you humans make turbo energy or is it just the ones I hang around, a voice said in Naruto's mind. Oh zip it, X, something's different about him, Naruto thought as they all found out their chest pieces detached showing a drone that were self-aware and conscious. Few hours later. OSHT, Naruto said as he was laughing as Butch had just had his as handed to him by Max who took off and he followed after. Let's see what you got Max, he said as he tossed Mei his keys as he ran after them. Have fun, Mei said as she like the rest of the girls were checking out Naruto's as. With Naruto. SHT he's building energy, Naruto thought as he was running across rooftops following Max seeing him leak out energy and applying it to the bike and his physical abilities unconsciously. If the kid keeps going he'll cause an explosion if he's not careful, X said as he was reading Max's turbo energy signature as they were rising the more he used it. He has no idea his vitals are spiking, Naruto thought as Max was shocked this was happening to him. Okay you'd less wonders runoff, he said looking at the bullies Butch, Jake and Dean that were running away as he went inside and saw Max, X, he thought as he got his armor on. He's about to cause a turbo explosion, get ready to absorb it, X said to Naruto. Max screamed as he unleashed turbo energy everywhere but it flew into Naruto's hand stopping the explosion. He's strong and unstable, Naruto thought to himself. Without a Ultralink to control his turbo energy he'll keep doing that, X said as he detached from Naruto and hovered over the unconscious Max. Freeze, get away from him, Forge said as he surrounded Naruto and X with other N-Tek agents. Do you have a hospital he can go to? That explosion really took a lot out of him, Naruto asked as X reeled to him. Yeah and you're coming with us, Forge said to him. Okay, Naruto said to him. Really? X asked him. He's not the enemy, besides maybe we can get some answers Naruto thought to him as he was tired of being followed. How did you manage to contain his turbo energy? Forge asked him curiously as his men picked up Max. I have the ability to absorb it, thankfully I was around otherwise bye-bye building, Naruto said as he smiled behind his mask, this keeps happening this guy is gonna die, he said seriously. How are you sure? Forge asked wondering how he knew that. Because it nearly happened to me and my friends when we were first getting used to our little buddies, Naruto said looking at X. Who are you? Forge asked as they got on a ship. Sorry that is none of your business, Naruto said as he had X send a message to the others so they don't overreact when he got home late. Hey bud, he said as Max woke up mid-flight. Uncle Ferris, Max said as he then looked at Naruto. Hey you're Maelstrom X, he said as Kirby told him about the hero. Hey Max, Forge said as they landed. Where am I Uncle Ferris? Max asked as he got up and exited the plane. Welcome to N-Tek, Forge said as he began showing Max around. Better follow, Naruto thought as he saw a lot of guns ready to be aimed to him by a lot of soldiers. Yo check the hologram looks like Max, X said to Naruto. Dad, Max said looking at the hologram as he has only ever seen just a few pictures of the man. Well that explains that, Naruto thought as there was certainly a lot of resemblance between the two. So come on there's something I'd like to show you, Forge said as they went to a room. This room ain't like the rest, X said as it seemed more like a containment room and he could swear he saw unactivated Ultralinks. What is it? Max asked as they looked at a sphere inside a containment unit. Broken, it's the last thing your father was working on before he passed, Forge said sadly as the day was still fresh in his mind. As they passed the sphere it glowed blue for a moment. Naruto don't enter that room only one door, X said to Naruto as the room Forge lead them to seemed like a containment cell. So what's happening to me? Max asked him. You're generating turbo energy or tachyon unlimited radiant bio-optimized energy. Your father was exposed to it and apparently passed it to you, Forge said as they entered the room not noticing Naruto wasn't inside. What is this place? Max asked curiously. The turbo chamber, it'll keep your power levels under control, Forge said to him as he walked away, Max not noticing he was leaving. As Max entered the center of the room, the bridges to it deactivated. So what, I'm your prisoner now? Max asked a little annoyed. This is the only way to keep you and those around you safe, Forge said as he nodded to Boruto to start the chamber. Pieces of the room extended towards Max before they began glowing just as Max's turbo energy began to flow into them. Where's the other guy? Boruto asked curiously. Let him out, idiots, Naruto said, knowing this wouldn't work. This'll never work, he said seriously. As Max began to get scared, he began to generate even more turbo energy till he himself began glowing blue. He's going critical, Boruto said in worry. Suddenly the sphere they passed burst into the room before exploding in front of Max, making hexagonal pieces float all over the place. Steel. That's not possible, Forge said in total surprise. Let's go, Naruto said to him as they ran out. The turbo energy powered ninja and his Ultra Link looked at Max, who had a Ultra Link on his chest shaped like a M, and now clad in armor like theirs but was white and blue. Whoa, what the heck? Max said, looking at himself. Let's go, human, Steel said as he made Max's body move forward and knocked the door down. Yo, Naruto said, catching up to him, seeing him knock out guards. What's happening? Max asked anyone who would answer. Your Link is taking control of your body so the two of you can escape. Move, X said as Naruto moved Max to blast a guard. Follow us, Naruto said as they stole some bikes. Stop them, Forge said as they took out the solid holographic bridge, but that didn't stop them. Few minutes later. Forgot about the turbo touch, Naruto said as he was usually in control of that, but he needed to keep up with Max. Oh boy, greenhorns, X said as Max and Steel drove theirs off the cliff, but the bike's parachute system saved them. Okay, listen guys, you need to. What the hell are you doing? Naruto asked as Steel made Max move like an idiot. Running a complete diagnostic of core matrix functionality, Steel said as he ran a systems diagnostics. You have memory core damage, bud, X said coming out of Naruto's chest. Steel yelped as Max grabbed him. Listen here, robot MC Space Pants, Maxwell McGrath is nobody's puppet. What are you doing? He said angrily and stopped midway as Steel was shaking and random errors showed up on his face. I'm not doing anything, your energy output is overriding my turbo dampeners. Steel said. Throw him, dude, Naruto said as too much of their energy was a bad thing. Max threw Steel at a boulder and watched it explode. Way to go, kid, you just discovered how to do the turborang, Naruto said as he threw X like that once. Turborang? Max asked curiously. You threw him like a boomerang, but turborang is what we call the move, X said as he hated it. I certainly don't like it, Steel said dizzily as he dropped to the ground with a swirl icon where his eye goes. Join the club, dude, X said as it still sucked in his opinion. So am I like you? Max asked, seeing the similarities in their suits. Not exactly, but yeah, Naruto said as they had the same power. I wonder what else I can do, we. Max said, wondering what he and Steel could do. My technological acumen combined with your turbo powers, probably a great deal, Steel said as he got back up. Let's do it, go turbo. Max said as he and Steel just unleashed energy. Really? Naruto and X asked incredulously. I thought it'd be cool, you know, like a catchphrase or something, Max said. Wanna give it a try, X? Naruto asked, getting a shrug. Go turbo. Naruto and X said as they linked. Max and Steel yelped as they got knocked over by their energy wave and saw they were different, and saw Naruto was a bit bigger with muscles but was roughly around the same size. Cool, what you call this, strength mode? Max asked. Better than what he calls it, Naruto said as X called it a bunch of numbers and letters, basically a serial number. Dude, your feet are on fire. Max said. Naruto looked below him and saw a fire. We didn't do that, he thought, as he didn't have any modes that did fire and he didn't use elemental chakra as he had been learning each from the girls. Did you do that? X asked Max and Steel. No, the two said at the same time. It was me. A large creature made of fire sat on top of a cliff edge. Fire monster? Naruto asked with a smirk as he was actually excited as claws came out his hands. Come with me or meet your ends, the fire monster said. You know I'm not really having a good day today, so no thanks, Max said as he backed up. Do you have any modes? X asked Steel as he linked up to Max. Scanning for modes, Steel said to him. Hurry, Naruto said as he began fighting the guy. Go Turbo Strength, Max said as Steel showed him a mode. Protocol X795, you're welcome, Steel said happily. Okay, Turbo Strength mode it is, Max said to him. Let's pummel this guy, Naruto said to him happily. You are ultra-linked, the fire monster said looking at their chest pieces. Yep, Naruto said as he and Max ran up to him and sucker punched the guy. Hands. X and Steel said as both their hosts were on fire. Guess close combat doesn't exactly go good against a thing made of fire, Naruto said as they may have been insulated but their armor could only take so much. Max go long, he said tossing the fire monster to Max. Max reeled back a punch before smashing his fist in the monster's face sending him flying past Naruto. And it's gone, Naruto said as he saw a jet coming. Ow, ow, hot hot hot, Max said as he patted his hands. Get in, Forge said to them. Between him and the fire guy I'd take him, X said as they all entered the jet. Uncle Ferris, what was that? Max asked him. A giant fire monster, Forge said simply. He's being purposely vague, Naruto thought to X having a similar thought. Let's try and find out why, cause Naruto I know nothing about myself as well, X said to Naruto as he knew nothing about where he came from. Steel suppress his turbo signature, Forge said in a commanding tone. That's how the fire elementer tracked him, isn't it? Steel asked him. And others will follow, Forge said worried. Suppressing now, Steel said as he linked back up with Max. 2 I want you to come to N-Tek for training and 3 nobody tells your mother, Forge said. She'll kill us if she finds out, both Max and Forge said at the same time. What about you two? Forge asked, still needing information but didn't want to give Max the wrong impression. Give us the night to think it over with the others, Naruto said as the others had as much right to this as they did. I can respect that, okay, Forge said. Few minutes later. Oh come on, he's my neighbor. Naruto thought as they were dropped off on the roof of his building as he had the top floor and Max moved into the empty one below. A small world, X said to him as Ferris left. Well, since he's gone, Naruto said undoing his helmet. Naruto, Max said in surprise. Yeah, hey man, Naruto said as they fist bumped. Why didn't you tell him? Max asked curiously. I just met him, no offense but I don't know if I can trust him so soon, Naruto said to him. Mind keeping this quiet for now? He asked him, not wanting Forge to know who he was. Sure man, not my secret to tell, Max said as he often respected people's privacy. Few minutes later. They want something from us, Naruto, that it is clean and straight. They were prepared for Max way before he got there. They know something, Mei said as being a Kage allowed her to see that as she dealt with it constantly. You said his father worked there, right, and he knew Steel, so they must have know things about these guys, Shizuka said referring to their links. They gave you and him vague answers and responses. They don't trust you or Max, Samui said as that was how it was for all ninja as the higher-ups didn't think those lower than them needed to know that information. Or maybe it's not me or Max he doesn't trust, Naruto said as he glanced at X and the other links. What? Is there something on my faceplate? X asked curiously. We need to know more, Shizuka said as it was that simple. That means working with them. They may be keeping secrets but they have the tech and the expertise and knowledge to help us, Samui said to them. We need to be careful and find out more. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Mei said to them as that was how it was back home. But how do we know who are our friends is the real question, Naruto said as there was still an unidentifiable player. I say we go for it, we need the help and it'd be nice for X, Storm, Volcano, and Blizzard to have another Ultralink to call a friend, Shizuka said as she was looking at the upside. As long as he doesn't hit on us or annoy my processors off, I'm cool, Blizzard said as she left Samui's chest. Likewise, Volcano said leaving Maze. Our bot X won't let him, right honey? Storm said as she left Shizuka's and leaned against X. Lucky, all the human women thought as they got their man. Alright, after school we go with Max and Steel to N-Tek, Naruto said to them, wear your work clothes, he said knowing they'd get the memo. So we're working with them, they just can't know anything about us, Volcano said as it seemed pretty cut and dry. Just until I can know they can be trusted, Naruto said as he didn't trust someone so easily. Well, buddy, you gotta trust somebody in this world otherwise how are we gonna work with them, X said. True, but I'm just trusting my gut, now let's get some sleep, don't forget we still have school, Naruto said as they all groaned. Next day. Dude, no judgment, but why is your phone pink and looking like it got trashed, Naruto asked. It's not mine, it's this girl Sydney's. I accidentally grabbed it and shorted it out when those guys were chasing me, oh what am I gonna do? Max asked sounding depressed. Give it here, let me see it, Steel said as he poked a hand out of his backpack. You put him in your backpack? Naruto said being glad nobody was noticing. Well, where else am I gonna put him? Max asked. Your chest, Naruto said to him. After that making me move like a fool incident I'm kinda not trusting him, Max said simply getting a cough from Steel. He did that outside of you, Naruto said as he pointed that out. You mean he can do that whenever, besides what if he just pops out of my chest in the middle of class? Max said incredulously. You gotta trust me more Max, Steel said, also here, he said as he handed the phone back to him. Also nice hoodie man, seriously very incognito, Naruto said as he looked at Max's hoodie. You have it, Max said pointing to his shirt. Yeah, like so many people, Naruto said as his symbol was on his shirt in black and pointed to the many men and women who were wearing it, plus people might put 2 and 2 together when you do show up. What's your name gonna be, he asked curiously. Max/Steel, Max and Steel said at the same time. Okay, Max Steel, Naruto said with a chuckle. See you later, gotta give Sydney her phone back, Max said as he walked away. Don't blow it, what they say about blondes is true, Naruto said referring to blondes being hot and hot-tempered/stubborn and sometimes crazy. Max laughed as he walked away. Couple hours later. Suit up, Naruto said as they were a block away from the location Forge gave Max. Why here? Max asked curiously. 1. This block has no security or cameras, and 2. We won't draw as much attention. It is literally across the DMN street from school. We have a DMN light show every time we transform, Naruto said as he wanted Max to be careful. True, so where's your friends? Max asked just as the 3 girls showed up. The girls you live with are linked, wow, and we all live under the same building, Max said laughing a little. Small world, huh? Storm said with a chuckle. Alright everyone, you know what to do, Naruto said. Go Turbo, they all yelled. Hey, question, when we start fighting crime does that make me your partner or sidekick? Max asked. Partner, Naruto said with a smirk as sidekick sounded like CRP, and then they all left for the location of the entrance. Max pointed at a wall and some kind of pod was revealed that opened up for them. Yeah, first try, Steel said as he congratulated Max. Looks like a roller coaster, May said as she knew that this wouldn't be fun. So how does it work? Max said as when they entered it closed and dropped down very fast. I'm gonna kill Forge, Naruto said angrily. Few minutes later in N-Tek HQ. Oh, remind me never to go on that thing with a full stomach, Max said as he held his stomach as he got out of the pod. Not cool, Samui said as she felt nauseous. Really wish I brought my sword, Shizuka said as she got up. You can use the elements, what do you need a sword for? Max asked as his stomach finally settled. I feel naked without it, and not in a fun way, Shizuka said as she winked at Naruto, then realized he couldn't see it due to her mask making her feel like an idiot. Ready to get started? Oh, and meet one of our top agents, Cat Ryan, and our tech genius Humberto Martinez, Forge said. Call me Berto, Berto said to them. If I knew you had appealing women here, I'd have stopped by more often, Naruto said as he looked at Cat, who blushed. Smooth, Cat said with a chuckle. She had DD cup BRST, and an athletic body and peach. So are we going into the ring? I'll take this one on, May said, wanting to burn Forge for the roller coaster ride. I'm very curious to see what you all can do, Berto asked as this was gonna be exciting. Then I hope you have a lot of robots for us to practice on, Naruto said as he stepped into the ring and went into his turbo strength mode. Why is his smaller than ours? Steel, Max asked curiously. Somehow I doubt that's true, kid, Shizuka said with a laugh. I don't get it, Steel said to her, but it could be it is made so it works with his flexibility, he said to Max. I doubt that's a good one, Kat said, laughing at Shizuka's remark. Wow, he certainly is setting records. 20 seconds, Berto said as Naruto stopped 8 of his robots. Dibs, May said as she got in the ring. Go turbo stealth, she said as she went invisible and a fog enveloped around her. How many turbo modes do you people have? Berto asked in scientific curiosity as the others came closer, wondering themselves. Enough, the other 3 said to them. Yo boss, check it out, that mist is melting the bots, Berto said as the robots turned to molten slag. Let me give you a kiss that'll melt you away, May said to the final robot, appearing as the mouth portion of her mask opened and she kissed it, making it turn red hot, melting immediately. That girl's on fire, literally, Jefferson said to them as he ate a sandwich. Okay lava girl, I'm next, Sammy said as she stepped into the ring. Go turbo flight, she said as she gained snowflake-like wings, ice claws, and made it snow around her. Her core temperature is low, Berto said as he was reading the temperature in the room and saw it was beginning to drop rapidly. Your robots are dropping, bro, Jefferson said as Sammy was just touching them and the bots fell. She's freezing the insides, neutralizing them, Naruto said to them, explaining what was happening. Awesome, Max said, thinking that was really cool. Okay, my turn, Shizuka said, going in the ring, high-fiving Sammy. Go turbo, lightning, she said as she gained slicker armor and electricity began to appear around her before she made 2 whips made of lightning. Whoa, she's letting off a lot of juice, Berto said, impressed. We noticed, Kat said as her hair stood up. Never affects me, my hair always is like this, Naruto said as his hair wasn't affected. They watched as Shizuka pointed up and a cloud was made before pointing down, causing lightning bolts to come out of the cloud and strike the robots. And wow, Forge said as that was impressive. Okay Max, time for you to take the show, Naruto said as Max went in the ring. Go turbo, strength, Max said loudly. One of the robots charged at him before he punched it, causing his fist to go right through it. Heads up, Berto, Max said as he punched the bot's head off, sending it to Berto. Berto got pissed and sent in a legion of robots. Steel detached from Max, who then threw him, slicing many of them in half and exploded. Whoa, Forge said, impressed. Berto growled as he sent out more, and when one got a hold of Max he began spinning him around for a while, then got looks from co-workers. He then chuckled sheepishly as he stopped, making the robot toss Max up and through the holographic roof. Steel, do something, Max shouted, feeling like he would hurl. Got something new, Steel said as he showed him a new mode. Go turbo, flight, Max said as he changed to the new mode just in time to pull up before he slammed into the ground. Whoa, since when can we fly? He asked as he had some trouble controlling how fast he was going. Don't know, but I like it, Steel said, happy. Looks like he has your mode. Maybe I do too. Let's try X, Naruto said happily. Go turbo flight, he shouted as he looked to have the same suit but had sharp claws and bat-like wings on the back. Well, guess our modes aren't special, Sammy said as she pouted slightly. Hey, don't think like that, Naruto said to her. Hey Max, I think you're good, he said as Max was basically hot dogging it. Ha, Max said as he looked at them before going right into a wall. Ow, he said as he fell to the ground. Dude, your phone, Shizuka said as he was getting a call. Oh hello, Max said as he picked up. Everyone felt awkward as they heard him talk. That was Sydney, she just asked me on a date, Max said nervously. Go for it dude, Naruto said, high-fiving him and saw his phone fry. Here Berto, can you fix our phones, he said as they all hated when that happened. Sure, we really gotta look into that whole turbo energy affecting electronics thing, Berto said as he looked at his robots. Thanks now Max, no DMN suits, Naruto said as he saw Steel to show him a catalog. That's what I told him, Max said pointing at Steel. Yeah, it's your first date, Naruto said to him. He knows how to date but not when a girl is into him, the turbo energy women thought, feeling happy and angry at the same time at that. Want a wing man? Naruto said, then realized something, not the one attached to your chest, he said looking at Steel. Don't you need a date? Max said, immediately pushed aside by the three women Naruto lived with. This'll be messy, Berto said as the women began to fight. Thank God I don't have women troubles, Jefferson said, finishing off his sandwich, getting a dry look from Kat as she was interested in him for a while but it passed. Naruto's place. I should go, Mei, Shizuka, and Samui said firmly. Why don't we all just go? Naruto asked curiously. The girls deflated a little but decided they'd take what they could get. Yo, you guys online? Steel asked as all the Ultralinks linked up to the same frequency and they could all talk and had private channels set up with one another. We're here, everyone thought. Hey Max, remember don't talk, think, Naruto said as Max talked when Steel talked to him mentally. Got it, Max said mentally as he didn't want to seem creepy or awkward in public. 30 minutes later. Steel, if you are gonna talk to Max, make it private, X said as Steel was on the open line. My bad, Steel said, how's your guys' date going, he said switching to the Ultralink channel. Better than how they thought it was gonna go with him taking all three of them, X said as he thought there would be more violence between the three women wanting Naruto. Well, I for one am getting bored, Steel said as this was boring. Don't go looking for trouble, it may just come to you, X said as he knew from experience as his host had a lot of trouble come his way. This night is going so perfect, Mei said dreamingly. Well, if you all ever want to go on another date, just ask, Naruto said to them. I'm gonna abuse that, the women thought as Naruto was dense and knowing they could ask him out was a huge plus. What the hell? Naruto said as he looked at his water, seeing it shift and felt a shake from the ground. Please tell me that was normal, he asked X. No way, too isolated, X said as something was happening underground. Next thing they heard people running and screaming in the streets as a trail of fire and a trail of cracked pavement was heading for the building. Naruto sent the girls a look and everyone split. Girls, you take care of civilians while me and Max take care of this, he thought as they all agreed. Naruto, come on, Max said as he got in his uncle's car. Naruto got in as Forge put the metal to the pedal and the fire and earth elementers chased them. Who's this? Forge asked Max. Not important, where's Steel? Naruto asked him as he would have gone turbo already. I kinda put him in the bathroom, Max said laughing nervously. Dude, I might just kill you, Naruto said to him. Try it and you deal with me, Max's mom Molly said. Mom's always scary, Naruto thought as he remembered when Shikamaru complained about his. I totally understand, Max, X said as Steel was like an annoying younger brother. Hey, Steel said, feeling offended as he tried to catch up to them. Want me to toss you? Naruto asked him. Do it, Max said. Maxwell McGrath, don't you dare, Molly said to him in a motherly tone. Too late, Max said as Naruto tossed him. Oh F it, Forge USCK, Naruto said as Max linked with Steel. Go turbo flight, they said as they flew off, making a U-turn before changing to strength mode and standing in front of Earth Elementer. Our old friend is back, dude, Naruto said to him as Fire Elementer showed up. Oh great, which one do you want? Max asked as they stood back to back between the Elementers. Dibs on fire, give me your hand, Naruto said as he swung Max at Earth to do more damage. Round 2, Abomination. I will remove the stench of your treachery here and now. Fire said as he charged. Treachery. Naruto and X thought in confusion. Fire roared as he lunged at them, but Naruto rolled onto his back and kicked fire off, making the elementor fall onto his back. Naruto shook his feet, feeling the burn. Hand to hand don't really goes well with this guy, remember, X said as fire's heated body makes it challenging to go physical on him without getting burned. Then maybe we switch to ranged attacks, Naruto said as X ejected from his chest and made a demon wind shuriken out of his body. This is gonna SCK, X thought as with Naruto's strength in strength mode was insane. Naruto threw him at fire, making an explosion of golden turbo energy and causing fire's fire to go out. Fire began gasping for air as he backed up towards Steel. Steel screamed as fire fell onto him. I gotcha bud, X said as Naruto picked up fire, allowing him to pick up Steel. Earth Elementer then slammed his fist on the ground, causing Naruto to sink into the road until his head was all that was shown as he was holding an unconscious Max before picking up fire and tunneled away. I swear this wasn't funny when Kakashi did it, Naruto thought as this situation reminded him of when Kakashi would use his headhunter jutsu. He took Max, Steel said tiredly before he passed out. You need to learn to lock him in turbo modes dude, Naruto said as he freed himself. How's about less criticism and more trying to figure out where Granite Breath went to, Steel said, still feisty after being beat. Few hours later. What do you mean he's on a time limit? Naruto asked Forge as they were in a tank outside of THI. Max only has 8 hours before he goes critical and Steel has 8 hours before he deactivates permanently, Forge said to him. Well, that sucks, everyone linked there. Thought as that sounded terrible. Actually Maxwell isn't in any danger of going critical, Steel said. What do you mean? Naruto asked. I'm reading Max's turbo energy levels and they're quite low, unfortunately so are mine, Steel said. He's being drained, Steel be careful, Naruto said as Max being low on energy after the fight they had didn't make sense. Steel screamed, making them flinch. Sorry, it's just that this access duct is also some kind of sewage line, he said. My bad, lo siento, Birdo said to him. Why am I here alone again? Steel asked him. He's your partner and BZ we're back up if SHT hits the fan, X said to him. I think that's what I'm covered in, Steel said in disgust, wondering if he could vomit. Few minutes later. Steel, what's happening? Forge asked him. I've linked with Max, but there's a scary guy in red and black attacking us. Steel said over the comms. A few moments later they looked up to hear screaming as they saw Max falling down to them. Naruto went into flight mode and caught him. I don't want to go to school, Max said, sounding like he was barely conscious. We're not, dude, it's like 3 in the morning, we're skipping, Naruto said as he chuckled. He has Steel, Max said as he saw his mom and uncle come to him. Who does? Molly asked him, wondering if Max gathered any info. Dread, Miles Dread, Max said to them. That's impossible, Dread died 16 years ago, I was there, Forge said with certainty. He knew all about N-Tek, about you, about turbo energy, and he said he was behind what happened to Dad, Max said, looking at his mother who looked away sadly. Guys, Naruto said, seeing something that need all their attention. Now what? Forge said, looking at Naruto who pointed up. They looked up to see the top of THI Tower opening up and some machine came out. Forget with being subtle, Cat, scramble the troops, Forge said, ordering commands. The machine on top of the tower began glowing red before sending out tendrils of energy into the city. It's taking energy, Samui said to them. Why isn't taking us, she said, referring to the more turbo-powered people. Because our tech is N-Tek issue. The Ultra-Link power device seems to only affect people using THI devices, that's what attracting the tendrils. Dread must have been planning this for years, Birdo said to her. Thank God I didn't buy their CRP, Naruto said as he was also glad Birdo worked on some of their gear like phones and watches. So Dread's gonna squeeze the life out of every last person in Copper Canyon, just to get his next turbo energy fix, Forge said. With Steel making it all possible, Birdo said. We gotta stop him, but me and Naruto can't fly or we'll get hit by those beams, Samui said to them. Then we go through the front door, Naruto said as that was the only option. Jets and tanks full of N-Tek agents began to come around the tower as they and Naruto and the others burst into the tower. They all fired or smashed the defense turrets that popped up. "This'll be fun," Shizuka said as Storm came out and combined with her sword and became a large purple sword. "Let's go," Mei said, making a mist that would melt the metals the robots had and not hurt people. "Cover us, me and Max are gonna go for steel," Naruto said. "On it," Samui said neutrally. "Go turbo flight," she said as she froze the doors and made it snow inside. Naruto and Max hopped on the robots and went through the doors. "If only you were here to see him, Jim," Molly said as she watched her son charge with Naruto. "Forge, who is he?" he asked him as she and him saw him transform. "Naruto Uzumaki, and the weird thing is he's human but his cells act like a Taconian," Forge said as he acquired Naruto's DNA. "How's that possible?" Molly thought as she knew people could let out a small trace of turbo energy, but to the level and effectiveness of a Taconian seemed impossible. "With Naruto. Can I get you two anything? Maybe you'd like to use the executive washroom," Not said to them facetiously. "Does everyone that works here have a screw loose or something?" Max asked Naruto and Not. "Oh no, I assure you I'm of sound and body like you, better even," Not said as he began transforming into a mostly machine cyborg person. "We don't call it transhuman industries for nothing," he said as he jumped over to them. "You wanna?" Naruto asked him. Not threw a punch at Max, who stopped it before noticing his arm was beginning to fritz. "Oh no," he said before a small explosion sent him falling down an elevator. "Oops," Max said with a shrug before he and Naruto kept going up to the lab and soon saw Steel. "Honey, is that you?" Steel asked. "I don't swing that way, little man," X said to him, chuckling a little. "Guys," Steel said, coming to his senses. "Good to see you too, but can you be quiet so we can dash?" Max was saying, not seeing someone walk up behind them. "Behind you?" Steel said as they turned and saw a very bulked up Miles Dread. "Hello again, my friend, and I see you brought me another Ultralink and Playmate. How kind of you," Dread said as he looked at Naruto and X. SHT, Naruto thought as he was pissed he didn't feel Dread approach. "Let's have a little snack," Dread said as he feasted on them, absorbing from both of them. Naruto and X groaned as Naruto dropped to a knee. "Whoa, and I thought the boy's energy was delicious, golden turbo energy, never have I seen such a thing," Dread said happily. "Doesn't feel too good getting a taste of our own medicine," X said as Naruto got up and glared at him. Dread charged and backhanded Naruto against the wall, giving Max a moment to grab Steel. Max blasted Dread, who only chuckled. "That was stupid," Steel said to him. "I can take your turbo energy, that's my whole thing." "Haven't you morons been paying attention?" Dread said to them. "Go turbo strength," Max and Naruto said as they changed modes. "Let's dance," Naruto said as he taunted Dread. "Shame I only know the 2 steps. "Step 1 inch," Dread said as he slammed his fists into their guts, making them drop to the ground. "Step 2, he said as he tossed them onto their backs. "Okay, how about you see my moves?" Naruto said as he grabbed Dread and absorbed some of his turbo energy. X hacked as his readings went all over the place. "Negative turbo energy doesn't taste too good, does it?" Dread said, chuckling. "You filter it through your device," Naruto said as he could absorb turbo energy, but it in turn became negative when it entered him. "Well duh, haven't you been paying attention?" Dread said as he absorbed more from Naruto. "Max, take a shot," Naruto said to him. "Why don't I?" Dread asked before he blasted the 2 through the roof, sending them down to the streets below. Dread chuckled evilly as he got on the roof before feeling something hit his back as he turned to see Molly and Forge firing at him while he didn't feel a thing. "The good soldier and the merry widow, I'd love to stay and chat but I have things to do," he said as he jumped down towards Max and Naruto. "Dude, we gotta fry this," as Naruto said to Max. "Gotcha," Max said, catching on to what he was saying. The 2 charged at him in flight mode, but he did a backflip before grabbing them by their wings before tossing them through a van. "DMN, this guy is good," Naruto said, shaking the rubble off of himself. "That's it," Max said as he charged at Dread before going full power with his thruster and began taking the villain toward space. Haven't you two idiots learned I can take all that you can give? Dread said, sounding like he was in bliss. Then we'll just have to make more, Max said. Steel, turn off the turbo dampener, he said. Max. Naruto said as he watched him take Dread up and up. While pouring turbo energy into the guy, let's go back him up X, he said to X mentally as they flew up. They're shining like a star. Turbo energy everywhere. X said to him. Max, Naruto said, making it to him. Too much. Dread screamed as they began flooding him with turbo energy. Oh, and Dread, Max said, making the villain look at him. Jim McGrath sends his regards, he said as they glowed then blew up. Everyone looked up in tense anxiety as they waited for them to come down. I got ya, Naruto said as Max was a little disoriented from the blast and they landed on the street. Maelstrom X, who is this? Is he a new member to your team? A reporter said. Yes, and his name is Max Steel and he's a part of Team Turbo, Naruto said as the other girls showed up. We gotta go, he said as they all left. Go turbo speed, Shizuka said as she ran as she and Storm looked for a mode so they could keep up with the others, and she had enhanced wind powers with this mode. Mei just made a manhole cover rise and rode it as she could control the earthly elements in it as she had geokinesis in any of her forms, as due to her chakra/turbo nature she could use the same powers as earth and fire combined, but not so much with her mist, but she can still use her water style and acid mist. The next day. How's it feel being the boss? Naruto asked Molly as she was giving them all a tour. Not bad, though I have my work cut out for me cleaning up their messes, Molly said as she had a literal mess with one scientist. So how are you so good with turbo energy? She asked as the group was scattered as they were looking at different things. Lots of practice and training, Naruto said, wondering why she and Forge kept on digging. Sorry if we're seeming like we're trying to pry into your life, it's just that we've never seen you before and I'm just being a worried mother, Molly said as she saw him and Max hang out often and saw he had a control like no other with turbo energy. It's fine and I'm sorry if I seem to be giving Forge the cold shoulder, it's just that when someone keeps so many secrets from others needing answers I find them a little hard to trust, Naruto said as it strained the trust he had in others when people lied to him. Molly couldn't refute or defend that as she felt inner turmoil as she was doing the same thing as Forge and felt guilty. Forge may keep secrets but you can trust him as I trust him with mine and Max's lives, she said. That I can understand, it'll be awkward but I'll try, Naruto said as he didn't like to openly trust someone who lied despite whatever reasons. Just give him a chance, whatever secrets he knows it's just to keep everyone safe. Haven't you ever known someone like that? Molly asked. Many, that's why I'm working with N-Tek in the first place, Naruto said as Forge came to him and offered him and the others a job to train Max, which he told Max about immediately. All I have to say is if you didn't trust him then you wouldn't have joined with N-Tek. Molly said. Or I joined to keep a closer eye on them, Naruto said as he wasn't technically an N-Tek employee as he worked under Forge directly. Look, I know you don't trust people who have secrets but you need to trust someone because it can be very lonely when all you do is just depend on yourself to get by, Molly said, speaking from experience. Like all the secrets you keep from Max, Naruto thought as this woman had to have more secrets than working for N-Tek and he felt it went back to Max's dad. I know it hurts to keep secrets from loved ones, but you just gotta, because you never know how they'll handle it. Molly said as she could read the look Naruto had in his eyes. Soon an alarm went off and the gates went down. Oh crud, Molly said as she knew what that was. I don't like this smoke, Naruto said as they all backed away from it. Guys, mask up, he thought as the Ultralinks kept camouflage on despite their masks coming on. We need to get Kirby and Sydney out, Max said to them as the people were basically turning into zombies. We can't let this spread. Someone scratched someone and they turned. We're dealing with zombie rules, Samly said as she watched a lot of TV. We gotta find out where's it coming from, Naruto said to them. It's being pumped through the vents, so anywhere from the roof to the basement, Mei said as the gas was similar to her mist as they were both forms of gases so she knew how it worked. Shizuka, Sam, we go to the roof while me and Max go down below, Naruto said as Mei stayed down with them. Hey, didn't Mom just fire some crazy guy? Think it could be him? Max asked them as they remember some crazy guy do the basic, you can't do this to me, speech. Knowing our luck, Yes, Naruto said, as most scientists were a little crazy. Just get the antidote. I can't keep fighting these zombies like this, they're piling up, Mei said as she hated a person turned these people into these things and that she was forced to hold back. Few minutes later. Yo, Naruto said as he saw a scrawny man pressing buttons and sending gas up, Samui Shizuka down here, he thought, then telling Shizuka to stay back as lightning and unknown gases didn't sound very safe. Guys, I gotta go, these things got the others, Mei said as the need to hide was unnecessary. Dude, we're all that's left, Naruto said to Max as the man was ranting about his shitty science career. Incoming. X and Steel said as the guy began throwing vials at them. Okay, enough of this, Steel. X zapped this guy, Naruto said to them. Glad they did, as he asked as the scientist was on the floor mumbling about fishy. The man shook his head as he then looked over to see an orange plastic fish falling into a vat of chemicals. No, fishy, he said as he scrambled for his helmet and jumped in before putting it on. Oh gross, Naruto said as the water below them was composed of many toxins and actual sewage. Poor Titus Octavius Xander. Oh well, now to make a cure, X said as he turned around just as the green liquid from below shot up. You hurt fishy, Xander said as he put angry emphasis on each word. Please tell me he's joking, X asked as this was lunacy getting angry over a piece of plastic. Look at what you've done to me, I'm soiled, Xander said to them, looking at his state as he was larger than before with a flaming mohawk of green flames behind his head, and it was like he wasn't human anymore but just a large man armored like being of pure toxicity. Karma if you as me, pal, Naruto said as the man got what he deserved after all the illegal work he's been doing and what he done today. Xander roared as he launched green sludge at them, sending them flying against the wall and unleashed glowing toxic flame like claws from his hands. Why do the bad guys always get the awesome SHT? X asked curiously. We have some cool stuff, in my opinion. You can become weapons, dude, Naruto said as X was able to make weapons around his body. Yeah, but so far nothing to match that. We can't risk taking many hits from that guy because his radiation levels are through the roof. He's like a walking Chernobyl, X said as he was getting to many readings. I'm filthy toxic. Xander shouted. Well, nice to meet you, Toxin, Max said, mishearing him, but Xander did seem to consider it for a moment. The newly named Toxin roared as he charged at them, slamming his fist down, making them roll to dodge, causing his hand to go right through the floor before pulling it out. Geez, Naruto said, wondering what was in the toxic pool below that made him so strong. Naruto, we can't drag this on, I've done the math, and the longer those people are left in there zombie-like state, the more likely chance it'll be permanent, X said to him. Okay, time to speed this up, Max, Naruto said as they went into their turbo strength mode. Toxin charged at them before they ducked under his punch to land an uppercut into his gut, sending him into the air. Slam dunk. X and Steel said as Naruto and Max jumped and slammed a double axe handle right at Toxin, sending him down onto the floor with a slam and knocking him out. Naruto and Max watched as Steel and X tried making an antigen and soon found out they were missing a key component. Where would Stinky Face keep it? Steel asked before everyone looked at Fishy. Fishy, they all said, and when they approached him the fish's head came off like a flash drive, revealing the missing catalyst. They immediately tossed it into the cure, wasting no time seeing the liquid turn blue. Let's launch this thing, Naruto said as he was sure the girls were tired of the zombies. They all pressed a button and a blue gas began to go throughout the building, curing everyone. About time, the girls and their ultralinks said, sounding tired. Now to deal with, oh come on, Naruto said as they turned around and saw Toxin was gone along with Fishy. A problem for another day, X said as he was tired after today's events. 3 weeks later. You okay down there? Naruto asked as Max was under a car robbers were using. Yep, Max said to him, a little embarrassed and sore. The two turned seeing the cops arrive. And here's your stop, Max said as he put the car down. Let's go, Naruto said to them as they were drawing in a crowd. Go turbo, flight. Naruto and Max said. See you next time, citizens, Max said as he flew away with Naruto. You two are hot dogs, Shizuka said to them as she just watched from the sidelines. Hey, any publicity is good publicity, Naruto said, as doing good and helping people was always the right thing. Just try not to attract the wrong kind, Mei said, as powerful people drew in all kinds of attention. Next day. Dude, you need to work on lying, Naruto said, as Max's excuses were pitiful. Not everyone came from a world where they lied for a living, Max said, as the others filled him in on their origins and he believed them as their crazy lives made it believable, plus it made him feel a little better knowing a secret as he felt. Samui was running a bit behind as she had something else to do and was a little behind the others, and when she made it to the door she saw not, oh no, she thought, needing to get to the others quickly. Earlier at. We sure are glad he is here with our heroes, the newsman said. Yes, here and here and here, Max Steel and the Turbo team sure do get around, Not said as he made a map of locations they appeared, chart them together and you have one recurring point of origin, Copper Canyon High School, he said as a hologram of said school appeared. My enemies are children, Dread thought in a healing chamber pod, receiving upgrades, not wanting the same weaknesses as before in the next fight as he still wanted to feast upon them all. CCHS. What do you mean you saw not? Naruto asked Samui as they ran back to school. He walked through the entrance and I couldn't do anything that'd give me away, Samui said, as reacting to someone when hiding your identity was a clear giveaway. Okay, he has to be here for us, we need to split up, Naruto said, as if they were in a group they'd have been caught by, not as even he wasn't that dumb. Okay, then what do we do about that? Max asked as their high school was on fire. Naruto said as this was clearly Not's plan. Naruto, you're all insulated, even in camo mode you'll all be fine, X said to him. Kirby, where's Sid? Max asked as they arrived at the front. I don't know, I can't find her, Kirby said in worry. Go, Naruto said as he, Max, and Samui went inside. Sid, anyone? Max said, calling out. Samui, can you cool things down? Naruto asked her. On it, let's go Blizzard, Samui said as her ultralink detached and began spinning around the room, making cold air and snow dousing the nearby flames. There, Max said as he pointed at Butch and Sydney, both who just lost consciousness as they fell behind a table. They're alive, Naruto said as he checked for a pulse. We gotta get them outside, Max said as they needed fresh air. One problem, heads up. Steel said the ceiling began to come down. Got it, Naruto said as he caught it and destroyed a nearby brick wall. We should go, X said simply. Why? We're in our civilian modes, Max said as he didn't see the issue. Yeah, but Naruto just knocked down a brick wall, how's that for low profile, X said to them before they got away from the unconscious duo. Later that day. I swear he is making it on social media, Mei said as she was checking her phone, and most of it was by Butch. Oh god, he's calling himself, Butch the hero, Mr. Hero, she said, reading posts of Butch's posts. Better him than us, we don't need the publicity, Naruto said to them. Yeah, but Not may try something again. Shizuka said as if he came to their school he may try to attack it to draw them all out. We're so screwed if he's constant with this, Naruto said as Not was very annoying even only after one meeting. I swear hiding in plain sight not my first pick, Samui said as it wasn't the best idea or best for stealth. We don't have a choice, also Not won't go after Butch, right? I mean Naruto and Max have different body types compared to Butch, Mei said as Max and Naruto were taller and had a smaller build compared to Butch. Yeah, well, something tells me Not is an idiot, Naruto said as he hoped Not wasn't that dumb. So you actually think he thinks Butch may be you or Max Steel? Samui asked. SHT, Naruto said as he mentally filled Max in. The next day. Naruto was right, Not is an idiot. Max said as they saw the aftermath of their fight with Not's bots. First a fire and now that robot and gas bomb. He really does think Butch may be you or me, Naruto said, feeling insulted. For a cyborg thing, Not really isn't showing he's smart, Shizuka said to him. He's probably too eager, he's not really paying attention to details, Naruto said. Few minutes later. Well, with classes cancelled, wanna work on our science homework, Shizuka asked as the teachers delivered them their homework before sending them to the bus where they were waiting. Not's targeting Butch, as much as I hate the guy we gotta keep him safe, Naruto said as they worked as they had like 20 minutes till they left. Why is not obsessed with us with Dread dead? Shizuka asked him. You ever watch Transformers? In this case Not is basically Starscream, Naruto said as they watched a lot of movies. Nice, Shizuka said as they worked on their science. I swear no school sounded great, Mei said angrily, but this is bullshit, she said lifting a backpack full of packets. Well, I'm getting started, Samui said joining in with Naruto and Shizuka as they worked on their homework not wanting to sit on this bus for nothing. 1 hour later. OSHT, Naruto said as the bridge they were about to cross blew up and were about to tip over, but someone pulled the bus back before someone tore the front off. Hello kiddies, Dread said happily and maniacally. How is this as still alive? I thought me and Max fried his as, Naruto thought to the others. It's over, come quietly and I'll let your classmates live, Dread said almost sounding honest. Don't reveal yourselves, Naruto thought to them seeing all of them ready to beat into Dread. You've lost Butch, Dread said as he grabbed him, what? Not, you said you found one. Of them, he said angrily. Wow, he's real dumb if he believes not, Mei thought to the others getting many responses of agreement and some laughs. I did, that is him, that's Max Steel, Not said over the comm. Max? That's him over there, Max McGrath, Butch said as he could hear as Dread had pressed into his skull with his hands and he heard a voice through the armor. McGrath? Dread said as he dropped Butch, as in Molly and Jim McGrath. Former N-Tek agents, pioneers of turbo energy. Oh Not, how could you be so stupid, it's so obvious, he said sounding pleased. My, you do look like your father, he said with a chuckle. Now where are the others, he said as he wanted to feed on all of them. Don't know who you're talking about, Max said playing dumb while glaring at him as he was still pissed at him for killing his father. Pity, Dread said as he backhanded Max, sending him through the bus and sent falling down into the canyon. Now, time to play. Eeny, meeny, mini dash, Dread was saying. Mo, Max said as he flew outside of the bus. Care to step outside, Dread, he said not wanting to put his friends in danger. By all means, Dread said. He jumped through the ceiling and was on top of the bus. Guys, I'm backing up Max, Naruto thought to the girls as he snuck through the emergency exit of the bus. Go turbo clone, he said as he made a duplicate of his camo modded self. These things are basically holograms. Are the other kids really that blind? X asked as turbo clones were harder than Naruto's regular clones but were a little slow in thinking and reacting to being in non-combat. Say hello to humankind, Naruto said as a lot of people were dumb. Go turbo strength. Max shouted as he got thrown but Naruto jumped up and caught him. Didn't we settle this? You know, overloading you with turbo energy, Max said uncaringly thinking this'd be an easy win. But if you're looking for a repeat performance, we're game, Naruto said simply. There'll be no repeating what happened last time. I made some modifications to my battle suit and now there is no such thing as too much turbo energy. I can take all that all of you can give and more, Dread said as he absorbed some of their turbo energy transforming into his boosted mode. Like fighting this guy wasn't complicated before, X said as Dread being a siphon and able to give off a negative charge made this hard to handle. Dread activated jets at the bottoms of his feet and grabbed the two by the throat before shooting into the air and throws them down to the ground. I swear the more turbo energy he gets from us the stronger he is. It's like fighting in strength mode, Naruto said to Max. Oh, you're just realizing that now? Max said sarcastically. We need to up our game, Naruto said to him. How? Everything we throw at this guy just makes him stronger, Max said. Then we need to get creative X, Naruto said to his friend who disengaged and became a large broadsword. Bring it on brat, Dread said to him. Naruto charged X up and sent a wave of energy at Dread. Dread spun and sent a arch wave of energy stopping Naruto's attack head-on. Oh come on, X said as they hoped he wouldn't be able to absorb a large blast. Duck, Steel said as he was airborne. Naruto got down just as Steel flew past his head and struck the top of the mountain. Ha, you missed me Max, Dread said with a smirk tauntingly. Who said I was aiming for you? Max said smugly. Dredd turned around as steel exploded, causing an avalanche of boulders to drop onto Dredd. A few moments passed before Dredd stood back up after destroying the rocks on top of him. We're not getting anywhere if he absorbs our power. Out of ammo. Pity, as I have a plentiful supply, Dredd said as he looked at the bus. Dredd began to lift the bus using his energy, but Kirby was at the driver's seat and hit the bus into reverse, causing it to slam into him, sending him to the canyon's edge. Thank you, Kirby, the Turbo team thought with a chuckle. This isn't over, McGrath, Dredd said before seeing Max walk up to them. What? Dredd said, very confused as to how that happened. Who am I supposed to be again? Max said, getting an idea. Forge and some of N-Tek's agents arrived and pointed their weapons at Dredd. Dredd looks at them and Naruto and Max before simply letting go and falls down the canyon, and a black jet got him. I swear I thought we were prepared, Mei said to the other girls as they looked at the jet. Apparently not as much as he is, Samui said as Dredd really lived up to the supervillain role of always being prepared. So much for Butch the hero, Shizuka said as she saw a lot of girls throwing away his autographed photos. Few days later. Another CYTRO? Naruto said as Berto was doing upgrades to his robots. Yeah, I'm upgrading him and giving him some turbo tech as some people, Berto said as he looked at Max, can't control their turbo energy, he said. Sure, it doesn't have anything to do with your robot getting its skid plate blown up every time? X asked as it was funny when Berto whined. Yeah, it's funny to hear you whine when it gets blown up fighting us, Blizzard said as she and Samui were just having fun. Berto slowly turned around and gave her a look. Shutting up, Blizzard said as she linked with Samui. Naruto, we doing this? Mei asked as they were about to fight. Whoa, save your bed talk for when I'm not around, Max said with a chuckle, then dodged as a magma, both the liquid and the ultralink, was sent right at him, burning a hole in the wall behind him. Samui, Berto said as he didn't want another fire. I'd shut up with romance around her, man, she'll kill you, Shizuka said with a chuckle as teasing Mei was a costly mistake, especially when it came to romance. You mean this three-way romance thing between you three? Steel asked. You're as maybe next, Steel, Storm said as she disengaged from Shizuka's chest. I was just genuinely asking, Steel said, moving back, not wanting to be zapped. Should have seen her with her assistant. Whatever he'd say she'd somehow mishear it and think it had something to do with marriage, Naruto said as he laughed a little and was then blindsided as Mei sucker punched him, making him fall back, allowing Mei to get on top of him as she pinned him down. Careful, Naruto, Mei said, undoing her mask as she kissed Naruto's mask in the mouth area. The Naruto beneath her just poofed into energy as another Naruto dropped onto her back, pinning her down. Never leave an opening, Mei, Naruto said. What are you gonna do to me now? I'm completely at your mercy, Mei said flirtingly as she wanted him to make a move, as she and the other girls had a bet going on of who'd he ask out first or just who got to kiss him first. Oh brother, Volcano said as she disengaged. At least we're not like that, Blizzard said as the female links all laughed nervously. I mean, we sorta are with X, but not to that level, Storm said as humans were a little crazy. Naruto got off of Mei and helped her back up. Want a victory kiss? Mei asked with a grin. Before Naruto could answer, ice blasted Mei in the face, freezing her head. Ugh, this is getting ridiculous, X said as he saw Mei melt herself free and picked a fight with Samui. While they do that, Shizuka said, grabbing his arm. Wanna take off? She asked cutely. Dude, seriously, you're gonna have to take a pic before they actually kill each other, X said to him through their link. Well, it's hard, I care for each of them is special, Naruto thought to X as with Shizuka they understood one another as they both had sad stories with first love. Samui was a little down to earth and they had deep, thoughtful discussions, but she reminded him much of himself when fighting began, and with Mei he couldn't explain it, but he was captivated by not just her beauty but her ferocity in a fight and her kind and gentle nature to others. Well, tell them that before they try killing each other to be with you, X said to him. As Mei and Samui fought, everyone else left the room. Why aren't you joining? Max asked Shizuka curiously. If they kill each other, less competition, Shizuka said calmly and seriously. Wow, Boruto said in amazement, dude, you are so screwed no matter which you pick, he said to Naruto with a laugh. Why can't you all be more like your links? You don't see them trying to kill each other trying to be with X, Steel said. You're gay, the three female links asked curiously as they parted from their hosts not wanting to get involved in their fight. What does that have to do with my question? Steel asked. Well, you said we and I mean we're into him. I thought you'd be into us, Volcano said to him. Who says I'm not? X already made his claim and told me to back off, Steel said, remembering when he said one of them looked cute and X threatened to remove his processor. Ah, the female link said as they saw X hide in Naruto's chest and could tell he was somehow blushing. You'll find a girl, Steel. Okay, probably, Max said with a nervous smile. And why only probably, Steel asked, feeling insulted. Because of people like him / them, Max said, pointing at Naruto and X. Oh, Steel said to him. Also, we need to find someone that can handle you, Max said, as Steel may have been his best friend but he was still a pain. You mean someone that won't freak out when they see me, Steel said, as there were very few smart machines with AIs. Want to get with Cyrro? Boruto asked as everyone shared a laugh. Steel zapped Boruto with a small blast. Okay, we all have crazy / non-existent / no love lives, Naruto said as the teens were crazy. Yeah, Max, Boruto, and Steel said, agreeing to that. 1 hour later. So Boruto, progress report, Forge asked Boruto. Well, everything with our tech is moving smoothly, Commander. I meant with Team Turbo, Forge asked him, specifying as he was up to date with everything. Okay, the team is fine, but I found something odd. Check this out, Boruto said, showing footage of the team except Max making weapons with their Ultra Links. These guys are somehow able to make weapons, so I got curious and did a systems check and found a ton of firewalls. They seemed like Ultra Links, but they are more advanced than any link we've ever studied, he said as he showed up a display of X, Storm, Volcano, and Blizzard. This is getting strange. Have any Ultra Links displayed anything like this? Forge asked him. No. It's like they're evolved in a way that normal links aren't, they're completely new, a new species of link, Boruto said as he was both excited and scarred by that. Mother of Mars, Forge said in surprise. So what are they? What comes after Ultra? He asked as there were two types of links, Ultra and Mega. I don't know, Hyper. Boruto said as he was guessing. Keep this between us for now. And what do you think is under those firewalls? Forge asked him. Maybe new features. I have no idea what they can do as it is, and we can't tear them apart, Boruto said as he wasn't going to anyway, as he'd never do that to a friend. And with Steel we gotta keep this quiet, Forge said as he felt disappointed in seeing his old friend and lying to him, but with his lost memories he felt he didn't have a choice. Few hours later. Gotta say, cooler looking than the old Cyrro, Naruto said as he saw its new weapons and liked its new armor. I know, right? I've added thrusters, missiles, and gave him a slick, cool new look, Boruto said, very proud of this achievement. Hey bro, considering what happened to your predecessors you might want to make a run for it, Max said, making a joke as he held the head of one of the old Cyrros. He's turbo-proof bro, he can take it, Naruto said as they heard an explosion. They're still at it? Boruto asked in surprise. Should we record this? Max asked curiously. I wanna say yes, but the fear of them killing us comes to mind, Naruto said to him, as being melted or frozen was not appealing. True, Max said as death wasn't worth it. Still fun to watch, X said as this was quality entertainment. And Shizuka is still in the clear, Shizuka said as she closed her eyes and relaxed. Volcano and Blizzard looked at each other, and a smiley face emoji appearing on them as they blasted Shizuka, and when she opened her eyes in surprise she looked at Mei and Samui and joined in the fight. That is so hot, Naruto said out loud. Oh handsome, we can definitely heat things up, Mei said with a smirk before getting blindsided by Shizuka. I can blow you and your mind away, Shizuka said as she was then frozen by Samui. Why don't you let me cool you down? Hot stuff, Samui said as she wanted to cool him down. We should go, Boruto said as he didn't need any of his PhDs to know this room was gonna be in use very soon for something they shouldn't see. We need to get out of here, X said as he didn't want to be here. Where are you going? Volcano asked as she held X closely. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad to be single, Boruto said as he and Max went away but stopped as they heard an explosion. The F was that? May asked as she and the girls stopped their fight. We finish this later, she said, getting nods of agreement. Boruto Cyrro is going crazy, Forge said over the comms. What, how? Boruto asked as they all left and went to the lab. Where is he, Forge? Shizuka said as she wanted to know where he was. He's heading toward the chem vault, Forge said to them. Where and what is that? Naruto asked curiously. It's where we keep the deadly stuff, Kat said as she ran into the group. I thought this place was like a private government science deal for saving and protecting the earth. Why in God's name do you have deadly stuff? Naruto asked them. It was dangerous and hazardous materials that we either couldn't disarm or if ever released would cause extreme violent changes to the world on a global scale, Jefferson said as he ran into them. Better go into sage mode, Naruto thought to himself as he made a chakra clone. Whoa, you can make clones like that? Jefferson asked as he thought it was only possible for clone mode. Explain later, Naruto said as they saw Cyrro tear off the door to the chem vault. I got this, Max said to them as he dashed to Cyrro. Max, wait, Naruto said as he knew what he was planning. Max had a blue glow to his finger and poked Cyrro. He's turbo-proof knucklehead, May said as even when she fought she heard what Boruto said so and it seemed Max didn't. Oh of course, now he is, Max said as he backed off when Cyrro tried to smack him. It's a real breakthrough, Steel said impressed there was tech that could handle turbo energy. Boruto shut that thing down. Forge said commandingly. I can't, my remote's missing, Boruto said as he searched. Of course it is, Forge said letting out a sigh as this was his life now. Max ran at Cyrro with his fist glowing blue before punching it in the face before it got back up. That was my best Sunday punch, he said. It used to be used so much as looked at Cyrro and he'd blow up, Steel said as he reminisced as getting his ass kicked was not fun. You just had to upgrade him, Max said as he gave Boruto a look. When we don't want the pile of SHT to blow up it does, now we want it to blow up and it's indestructible, Shizuka said as this situation was not ideal. Cyrro shot Naruto, sending him through the base until he smacked the wall of the bathroom. What the hell, Naruto thought as his face was on the luckily clean floor and saw a set of gooey-looking legs. The intruder is in there, Boruto said. Naruto tore open the door to see some kind of sludge monster. Ew, do we fight it or flush it? He asked very seriously as he wondered if it came from the toilet. Give me that, Boruto said as he took Cyrro's control pad from the creature. Turbo beam, Naruto said as he fired a laser from X's eye vaporizing the thing. Boruto began tapping the controls rapidly. What's wrong? Naruto asked. I don't understand, he's not turning off, Boruto said as they ran through the base as he kept trying the controls but nothing was working. Isn't he on a closed network? I doubt that sludge thing had that much brains, Naruto said wondering how it knew how to use computer equipment. When we enhanced Cyrro's remote functionality, we also extended the range you can control him from. What if someone hijacked his control signal? Boruto said. Nothing's working on this thing. May said as it was taking her magma easy. Yeah, I kinda enhanced him after every time you use something to break him. Boruto said as Naruto gave him a look. What, I got tired of watching you all smash him. Besides, if you all can't break him then he really is indestructible, he said. He's got a point, we are a destructive team, X said as they destroyed a lot of stuff. Oh, no, not there, Forge said. What's in that vault? Naruto asked wanting specifics. The Tox bomb, a biological weapon that combines all the other chemicals into a warhead so toxic it can wipe out everyone within a 40-kilometer radius of the detonation, Jefferson said. Or be the cure to what ails me. Toxin said as his voice came through Cyrro. Now this is all making sense, Max said as biological weapons and Toxin went hand in hand. Good to see you all again, Toxin said to them as Cyrro turned to them. Unfortunately I won't be seeing you again because you and your friends are about to go boom, he said as he fired Cyrro's missiles. Hit the deck. Naruto said as he didn't want to see if the weapons were Max charged in strength mode and smacked them. Farewell, for good, Toxin said as he blasted a wall and Cyrro ran through it. Duds? Max asked as he picked up a handful of the dropped missiles. Not duds, we just got to them before they had a chance to arm themselves, Steel said, a little happy as he was sure. Everyone chased after Cyrro, who got to the hollow bridges. Cut the power to the bridge, Forge said. Wait, can't he dash, Naruto was saying till a loud sound was heard from Cyrro. Fly, he said too. They all watched as Cyrro flew through the ceiling. Boruto, you might have done too good of a job on that thing, Samui said to him as she was a little impressed with how thorough he was. We've got to get that warhead back, Forge said. We got it, go turbo dash, Max was saying. Wait, Toxin will see you coming from the air, I have a better idea, Boruto said, stopping him. I made something for you amigos, he said as he brought them to his lab and showed the motorcycles all the same but with their themes. How are we supposed to keep up with Cyrro on motorcycles? Max asked him curiously. They're turbo cycles, they're incredibly powerful and fast. So how do they work? Max asked curiously. With Steel and the other Link's help I figured out a way for you to use technology without making it short out or blow up. Using your Links as interfaces you'll all be powering them, turbofing them, Boruto said excitedly. Let's go already, Naruto said as he got on his. I'm so excited, Samui said as she shot out. Wait, we have elements, what will that do? Shizuka asked curiously. I've made these babies to work perfectly with your turbo powers, so just imagine what that means, Boruto said with a smirk. So weapons for Mei and Samui and speed increase for me, Shizuka said as she didn't see how magma could increase speed. Your turbo juice makes the speed, Steel and the others make the weapons, Boruto said as Shizuka's bike was mainly for speed. For F's sake we can go over what they do when we get back, let's go, Naruto said as they had a nuke that had a 20-mile radius. Boruto got on the back of Max's bike as he put on a helmet as they took off. These things really do have speed, Max said as he popped a wheelie. With your turbo energy these things can go over 500 miles per hour, Boruto said. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author pyrohelixdrago on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.